Hey everyone, it's Amanda from Loops and Love Crochet here, and I'm just putting the finishing touches on this new pattern on the blog here. I'm going to be working a candy cane border around the outside of this pillow project. Now on the blog you can find this pillow as two separate patterns. There is the Merry Pillow, and then there's also the Bright Pillow. And I decided to work them as one reversible pillow, but you can also work them as two separate pillows as well. Just depends if you want to end up with two pillows or just one reversible one. So you can check out those patterns on the blog there. So we're going to get started on a candy cane border. Now that's just going to go around the outside of our project. I'm going to be using red and white yarn and my crochet hook. I used a 4mm crochet hook for this project, so I'll just continue with that for the candy cane border. So first I'm going to start out with my red yarn. I'm going to work a slip knot here, and then I'll slide that off my hook, and then I'm going to choose a place to start. So I think I'll start in the top corner here. And I'm just going to join in my yarn by passing my crochet hook through one of the stitches on the corner. And then I'm going to chain 4. And I'll sew the yarn tails in a little bit later. So I'm going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to drop this yarn. So I'll pull up the loop a little bit, drop my red yarn. And then I'm going to pick up my white yarn, and I'm going to work a slip knot again with my white yarn. Again, slide it off my hook. I'm going to place my crochet hook in not the next stitch, but the one after. So I'm going to skip a stitch, and I'm going to insert the white yarn into the stitch after. And then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so from there, we're going to start our candy cane effect here. So I'm going to go back to this red one. I'm going to put my crochet hook in, and then I'm going to pass it over top of my white chain, and I'm going to work a single crochet, not in the next stitch beside the white chain, in the one after. So I'm going to skip a stitch here, and I'm going to work a single crochet in the stitch right after. And then I'll chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll drop this yarn again, and I'll pull up the white. So I'll put my crochet hook in the white chain, pull the chain a little tight again, so my stitch isn't too loose, and I'm going to pass it in front of the red chain, skip a stitch, and then work a single crochet in the next stitch. Now, depending on the candy cane border you're working, you can also work it in each stitch. So you could work the single crochet into the next stitch, or you can skip a stitch in between like I'm doing. With this pillow project, the stitches are kind of tight together, so if I was to work in every stitch, it would be too many stitches for my border, and my border would get all kind of rumpled looking with too many stitches in there. So that's why I'm skipping one each time. So I worked my single crochet. I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to drop that yarn, go back to my red, insert my crochet hook. I'm going to pass it in front of the white chain, skip a stitch, and then work a single crochet into the next stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop that yarn, pick up the next one, pass it over, skip a stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, let go of that one. So we're just kind of alternating back and forth with our two different colors here. Now you can work a candy cane border in as many colors as you want. You kind of have the candy cane effect with the red and white, but I think it'd be cool to add a rainbow crochet border to other crochet projects throughout the year, not just over the holidays. Go, we're going to chain 4. So there we go. So we're just going to continue like that all the way around all 4 sides of this pillow project here. So you can see we're getting a little bit of a striping border effect here. And then when we're all done, we'll have all 4 sides, and then we'll just join to the first stitch with a slip stitch and then fasten off and then weave in our ends. Okay, here we are all the way back around with our candy cane border. So I've gone around all 4 sides. I just have a little spot to finish up at the top corner there. So again, as we were doing it, we were skipping a stitch between each of the color changes here. So on the sides, I skipped 1 stitch in between each of the color changes. And then on the corners, I worked one candy cane border stitch each chain into each of the 4 stitches going around each corner. And then again, I skipped a stitch going along each of the sides. And then when I got to the next corner, you can see that there's one working in each of the stitches that go around the corner, all 4 stitches. And then the same, skipping a stitch along the side, and then 4 stitches in the corner. I worked in each of the 4 stitches, and then finally I'm at the end here, and I'm just finishing off here up at the last corner here. So we started off skipping a stitch here, so I'm just going to finish off in that last stitch there. So here I have my 2 chains attached here for the very end, and I'm just going to take my red one. And you might kind of have to play with the way the ending is going to go a little bit, just so that you continue to alternate the colors, because you don't want to have like red overlapping red again, because then that would be quite noticeable in the corner. So you might have to play with the number of stitches that you do at the corner here on the last one. So I did all 4 of those chains. I'm just going to go in the next stitch to this white chain here. And we got the ends to weave in at the end here. And I'm going to work my single crochet, and I'm just going to fasten off here. So I'm just going to pull that through. I've cut my yarn there, so I'm just pulling it all the way through. So I'm done with the red. So there's the end of the red, and then with my last stitch of white, I have my chain here. And I'm just going to bring that over. And I'm going to work right over top of the first red that I made, and I'm going to work a single crochet and fasten off just underneath the red. There's that first stitch that I skipped at the very start between the red and the white, and I'm just going to work a single crochet in there, and then I'm just going to fasten it off, and then I'll be weaving in that end afterwards. So those 2 ends will need to be weaved in, or woven in, sorry. And then there's the end of our candy cane border there. So there we go. We got all 4 sides of the pillow here. And then on the back, you can still see the candy cane border just from the reverse side, going all the way around 4 sides there. All right, so again, you can find this free pattern on the blog, loopsandlovecrochet.com. And I'd love it if you subscribe to this YouTube channel and followed me on my Facebook page and on Instagram. Thanks for watching.